Hello and welcome back. Today is our final sea day on board the Holland America line, Eurodam. We are here. We're going to go back to the Alaska brunch because it was delicious the first time. And now we're going back. And then today we have a bunch of shows. We're going to a behind the scenes show because they don't offer a behind the scenes tour here. We're going to the, The History of Holland America show, the Magician and Comedian show, and I'm sure lots of great food and drinks all in between. So, let's roll. Our second day at the Alaska brunch was absolutely delicious. We got the reindeer sausage, which was not my favorite thing in the world. The biscuits were kind of dry, not a ton of gravy, but it was okay. The fish sandwich, just okay. Also, the fish I liked a lot. My dad did not love it. And then the berry smoothie was not my thing. I'm sure it's very good for you, but it was not very, very delicious. But the salmon chowder made up for all of it. It's so good. Get that. We got it both days. Get yourself some salmon chowder while you're there. Now we're going to see a City at Sea, which is Holland America's version of a behind the scenes store, because they don't offer any behind the scenes stores. So let's go see that.
We use evaporators and reverse osmosis, and this will be probably the best water you ever drink because we make it from the ocean water when we're way out at sea, so the quality is very high.
Yeah, that's right. When you're in your stateroom and you turn on your tap, that water was likely made on board. Okay, now for the question that every 8-year-old wants to know the answer to. Where does the stuff go when you flush the toilet? And why, oh why is that flush so loud? So, let's take the plunge and talk a little bit about toilets, and let's start with how noisy the flush is. Okay, so at home, your standard toilet uses about 1.5 gallons of water per flush. It's almost 6 liters of water. Here on the ship, we use vacuum toilets like what they have on airplanes. Because of this, our toilets use on average about 1 liter of water per use. You don't think that's much of a difference? Then let's talk about what this looks like across the entirety of a single day at sea. And I'm sorry in advance, it's going to get pretty personal, but on average, people flush the toilet about 7 times a day. There's around 3,000 total people on board this ship, so that's 21,000 flushes. Let's do a little math. If we used regular toilets, it'd take about 126,000 liters of water, around 32,000 gallons. That's roughly the amount of water it takes to fill our 2 pools up there on the Lido deck. But our suction toilets mean that we only use a few hot tubs worth of water. Not bad, right? Also, this is the only time I want you thinking about toilets and hot tubs at the same time, okay? Great. Now, when you flush, do you think that water goes right out to sea? Not a chance. Way below anywhere you would be, we have a treatment plant. It's also powered by the heat and electricity generated by our engines. This system uses filters and UV light as part of the treatment process. It removes all the impurities, all the dangerous parts of the sewage, and it compacts it down to fit into these small orange buckets. Rotterdam was built in Scotland and she cost 30,000 guilders, millions and millions of dollars today. She was supposed to have this big, splashy debut, but there was a strike at the shipyard and she arrived 6 months late. Because of that delay, her first voyage was a little light and she only carried 70 passengers. It was an inauspicious start for our company, and actually our first 20 years were, let's say, spectacular. And a lot of it came down to our name. It was hard to sell tickets in America on the Nederlandse Amerikaanse And everyone was already calling us something else anyway, so we did what these days you would call a rebrand. We went from this to this. And that was the last time we were behind the curve.
This was one of my favorite cruise ship shows. It was more of like a documentary style thing, or like an informational talk. It was the history of Holland America line, and it was really cool how like involved Holland America has been in like wars and stuff as well. They were like one of their ships became a warship in World War II, then back to a cruise ship. They were the first ones to do like that kind of art deco, non like chocolate wall type rooms, like make it more sleek designs. And then they started as like an immigration company, taking immigrants from Holland to America. And then we also learned that Holland America was the first ever cruise line to sail to Alaska. So it's very cool that we're doing our first Alaska cruise on Holland America. Seems very fitting. It's pretty good. I would recommend going to this on your cruise. It's a lot more than that. It's like 50 minutes long. 50, not 15. Go to that. It teaches you about history of the Holland America cruise line. So we also just went and saw the behind the scenes show. That was also very interesting because we learned that there used to be a tailor on board this ship, or just Holland America ships in general, and they would sew all the clothes down there for all the crew members. She said they don't do that anymore, but they still have one. And if they need to do repairs or if they need to make one in a jiffy, they do have a tailor where they could make it. And I couldn't imagine them just showing thousands of uniforms down there for the crew members. And then we also learned that the ship makes its own water from the ocean with a filtration system, which is cool. So you can drink the tap water. We used to think that you couldn't. So in your room, the tap water is chilling. And it was also cool with the food department. They bake all the bread every day. He said that people thought that bread was frozen, so did I. They bake bread every single day. That's incredible. You don't realize how much of an operation it is until you see a behind the scenes tour or something like this. And it's just nice because I could record it, and I can't record any behind the scenes tours on cruise ships at all. So this was very cool. Would recommend. So this is the retreat. It's not an adults only area. It's not a cabana area. Or not. It is a cabana area. What am I doing? It's not it's not an adults only area. It's not a suite area. It is a casita cabana area. So you have to purchase one for the day to be able to be in here, but it looks pretty chill. There's no pool, but there's some loungers. Looks like you have free little drinks, no like alcohol or non-alcoholic mocktails or anything. Just like orange juice and coffee and water, but looks pretty nice. If you're into that, you want a good place to lay and relax in the sun, because it's kind of hopping by the back pool and the middle pool. They have the dome down, so there's no sun. So, interesting spot. Yeah, so tonight we're back at the MDR.
Window, what is it called?
We got the specialty lobster two-way menu on the dining room. Our waiter recommended it, and we had some free money from the casino. So we're like, we'll go for it. We got 2 of them, and they were so good. It was like a fried, and then just a regular lobster tail, and it was the best lobster I've ever had. There was 3 different sauces: a tartar sauce, a soy sauce or a teriyaki, and then a butter sauce, and they were so good. And it came with rice. I would almost recommend it in the dining room, even though it does cost a little extra. It would be worth it. I would recommend, especially if you're doing something special and you don't want to go specialty restaurants. It's a little too much. Just get you a lobster. Thanks y'all for watching. We're about to dock in British Columbia, so if you want to see that video, come in tomorrow. Bye bye.